Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News, and your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, October 16th, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with Lucha Libre AAA, which held its biggest show of the year, TripleMania 30, Chapter 3, last night at Arena Mexico in Mexico City. This was the third and final installment of TripleMania 30 in 2022, part of the year-long celebration of 30 years of TripleMania. In the main event, Pentagon Jr. defeated 42-year-old veteran Villano 4 in a mask versus mask match. Villano 4 was revealed to be 57-year-old Thomas Diaz Mendoza. Pentagon Jr. is better known as Pentagon El Zero Miedo in AEW, where he is co-holder of the World Trios title. AAA Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo successfully defended the title against Pentagon Jr.'s brother and tag team partner Phoenix, pinning him after an inverted 450 splash.
Todo. ¡Brutal! Y ahora va el hijo del vikingo a la tercera. Está listo para lanzarse el cuerno del vikingo. ¡Lo hizo! ¡Uno, dos y tres! El vikingo sigue reinando como mega campeón de AAA.
Also on the card, Pagano bested Cibernetico in a hair versus hair Falls Count Anywhere match, with the 3 count being made by backup referee Vampiro, who entered the match after the original referee was knocked out with a light tube by Pagano. Pagano cut off Cibernetico's hair in the training room after the match. Taya Valkyrie retained the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship against NWA World Women's Champion Camille, defeating Camille via submission in just the second televised singles defeat of Camille's career, and the first in 5 years. Camille's NWA title was not on the line during the match. John Morrison, Brian Cage, and Sam Adonis won a 3-way trios match against the teams of Psycho Clown, Laredo Kid, and Bandito, and World Trios champions Sanson, Quatero, and Forestro when Morrison pinned Laredo Kid. Per the rules of the match, because the champions were not pinned, the trios title did not change hands. In the opening match, Dragon Lee and Dralistico won a 4-way match with Aries and Willie Mack, Mystices Jr. and Commander, and Latigo and Toxin to become the number 1 contenders to the AAA World Tag Team Champions, FTR. Inducted posthumously into the AAA Hall of Fame during the event were longtime Lucha Libre announcer Arturo Rudo Rivera, as well as Blue Demon, iconic luchador who rose to fame as both a rival and a tag team partner of El Santo. The evening was also highlighted by a video message from AAA Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, congratulating AAA on 30 years of TripleMania, as well as a special appearance from Konnan, a major headliner for AAA during its early years in the 1990s. Meanwhile, less than 3 miles across town at Arena Coliseo, AAA's promotional rival CMLL counter-programmed with its Saturday Spectacular, featuring the return of popular favorites Fuego and Valiente, and a tribute to veteran luchador Blue Panther. In the main event, the team of Volador Jr., Negro Casas, and Valiente defeated Atlantis Jr., Dragon Rojo Jr., and Gran Guerrero when the 62-year-old Casas pinned Guerrero. This was Valiente's first match in 11 months. In a match held to honor Blue Panther's 44th anniversary as a luchador, he teamed with Dark Panther to take on Panterita Del Ring and Panterita Del Ring Jr., in a 3-fall match that went to a double countout in the third and deciding fall, as Blue Panther and Panterita Jr. failed to beat the 20 count outside the ring. In 2 other trios matches, Astral, Sangre Imperial, and Valiente Jr. defeated Dr. Carante 1 and 2 and Infermo Jr. And Fuego, Magia Blanca, and Magnus defeated Bestia Negra, Defuento, and Zadokan Jr. in Fuego's first match since March 2020. In the opener, Neon and Cachorro defeated Bengala and Leono in a battle of technicos. In ratings news, overnight ratings are in for Friday Night Smackdown on Fox from New Orleans, with Spoiler TV reporting that the episode, highlighted by the return of Bray Wyatt to the show, drew an average of 2.129 million viewers, almost identical to the previous week's overnight number of 2.133 million. The key 18 to 49-year-old demographic rating was .50, which would put the show at the very top of the evening on network TV in that category. Full ratings numbers will be available on Monday. Taking a look at ticket sales, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
WrestleTix has reported the figures for last week's televised WWE and AEW shows. and Monday Night Raw once again leads the pack. The show from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn Monday night had 11,233 tickets distributed. AEW Dynamite Wednesday night came in a distant second for the week, with 7,394 tickets distributed for the show at the Coca-Cola Coliseum in Toronto. WWE Smackdown at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans Friday night drew 6,395, while AEW Rampage once again came in last for the week, with 4,790 tickets distributed for the Coca-Cola Coliseum. For the wrestling news, I'm Lou Kipilman.
WWE presented two Saturday night's main event house shows last night with the Raw crew in Sioux City, Iowa, and the SmackDown crew in Phoenix, Arizona. The main event in Sioux City featured Seth Rollins retaining his United States title in a street fight against Austin Theory. This was Rollins' first defense of the title since winning it from Bobby Lashley Monday night on Raw. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair successfully defended against Bayley, while Bayley's Damage Control cohorts and Women's Tag Team Champions Io Sky and Dakota Kai retained their title against Dana Brooke and Tamina. Also on the card, Dolph Ziggler and Nikki A.S.H. defeated Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley of Judgment Day. This was Ripley's first match since being put out of action with a concussion suffered last June. In other results, Matt Riddle and Mustafa Ali defeated Alpha Academy, and Omos defeated R-Truth. Meanwhile, in Phoenix, the SmackDown house show was headlined by the team of Braun Strowman and The New Day, defeating the undisputed tag team champions The Usos and Sami Zayn of the Bloodline. Also on the card, Drew McIntyre defeated Karrion Kross in a no-DQ match, their first in-ring encounter since the strap match last weekend at Extreme Rules. Butch and Ridge Holland of the Brawling Brutes defeated Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci of Imperium, continuing another feud from Extreme Rules. Also, Liv Morgan defeated Sonya Deville, Raquel Rodriguez defeated Shayna Baszler, Hit Row topped Maximum Male Models, and Madcap Moss bested Happy Corbin. And finally, in news from Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling presented the second night of Battle Autumn 22 yesterday at Tokyo's Korakuen Hall. The event, broadcast live on NJPW World, was headlined by two opening matches in the tournament to crown the first New Japan World Television Champion, in which Yoshihashi defeated Jeff Cobb and Evil defeated Aaron Hanare. The remainder of the card featured tag team matches. In the final tag match of the show, Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi defeated El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori by disqualification when Phantasmo attacked the referee. After the match, Phantasmo challenged Takagi to a New York City street fight at NJPW's Rumble on 44th Street event happening October 28th in Manhattan. In other results, Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Bushi, and Titan defeated the Great Okan, TJP, Francesco Akira, and Gideon Gray. Sho and Yujiro Takahashi defeated Hikuleo and Jado. David Finlay, Tiger Mask, and Master Wato and Alex Zane defeated Zack Sabre Jr., El Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Doki. Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano defeated Ren Narita, Togi Makabe, and Tomoyoki Hanma. And Takamika Inoue and Taichi defeated Kenta and Gedo. Night 3 of Battle Autumn is taking place in Japan as we are recording this morning. We will have full results in tomorrow's edition. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.